mean, you guys can't compete. Are we live yet? No, I can't say that.
Dana, you look like you have a nice fancy house with
She does, man.
Well, thanks. No, I'm just kidding. Up in, I like my place a lot. I do. It's cozy.
That's good.
And there's disco balls. There's disco balls in every room.
There it is. You got any pets?
No, I travel too much. The poor thing would be constantly being watched. But I actually reached out to see if anybody needs fostering right now, because I would love to foster a dog. I'm a big dog
absolutely.
person.
Yeah. One of my best friends has 3 grown dogs in a pretty small apartment. They just run over wild and knock everything over.
Oh, wow.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah. My dream dog, a French bulldog. That's the kind of dog I want.
Okay. That's what we were going between. We're going between a Frenchie and a Corgi. Corgi came out on top.
Really?
Yeah.
That's what I remember.
What's the Corgi's name?
Watson, after Kyle Watson.
Kyle Watson.
Oh, okay.
Which is one of our influences. So.
Access.
It's a good dog name. I don't know if I would have named it after that producer. Not
that's because you don't. That's not your.
Not even
I'm
hating.
not naming him Steve Aoki.
Oh.
Aoki'd be a great name for a dog.
See, dude,
It would be.
I knew you'd like it.
Aoki.
Kyle Watson's a G.
Felix is named after Felix the house cat. So
I actually did know that.
That's great.
Yeah.
Hey everybody, we are live. Columbus DJ Podcast, episode 3. What's happening? We have DJ Dana and then Fear and Low here. So welcome to the podcast, guys.
Yeah, episode 3. Thanks for coming, guys. This is, I feel like we finally got this thing up and rolling.
Yeah,
the last 2 have been awesome. And, you know, we talk about DJ stuff. We talk about life. We promote you guys.
I'm excited.
Get through this together. It's quarantine, man.
I showered for this, so.
There you go.
Oh, wow. Well, that's first.
You know, I actually appreciate that, man.
Yeah, no problem.
It is kind of weird. Like, you get ready every morning. You're like, what the fuck am I getting ready for?
Yeah, nothing.
Get ready to work on music.
We played Call of Duty last night from 1 p.m. to 5 a.m.
I'm glad you're here, man. You're looking bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, James.
Yeah. So, might be napping after this.
Yeah.
Or more Warzone.
Yeah, you playing after this?
Maybe.
By the way, everybody, drop your battle tags after this if you're watching.
Battle tags.
Call of Duty.
Oh yeah, gamer tags for sure.
Gamer tags. So
gamer tags.
If you want to get the wins, you add me.
That's true. We did get a win yesterday.
We got 2 wins. Yes. Well, me and Rusty did. And
Wow.
Joey.
Huge accomplishments.
Careful, he
Joey got so mad last night. He kept dying like 5 games in a row. I'm fucking done. You guys keep
Called out on national TV.
Sorry, Joey.
Hi, Joey, if you're watching. Sorry, I called you out like that.
he might be the only person that watches this. I'm the only person watching, the dog and me.
I think my mom and my sister are watching. Sorry, I cussed. So, what's going on, everybody? How you guys coping with everything so far? What are we, 3 weeks in? 4 weeks in?
Time is.
I think we're more.
Yeah, it's like a month.
Yeah, I think it's a month.
Sucks.
Anna, how you doing so far?
Yeah, I'm hanging in there. I mean, honestly, like probably everybody else, taking it day by day, and I'm actually keeping myself pretty productive, busy. And some days, you know, I mean, I have bad days, of course, like everybody, but I look at it as like riding waves like a surfer. You know, you just like ride that wave, and then if you fall off and wipe out, you just either sit there and float, or you can get back up on the board and keep going. You know.
Alex, I feel like you've surfed before. Just something about you. I don't know.
I have. Yeah.
Have you? Yeah.
I'm not a good surfer, but I did it.
Me neither.
In Australia, actually.
When you were nodding your head, I'm like, you know what? He's actually probably nodding his head like, I actually.
I'm not a good surfer, but I've done it.
Don't tell people that, dude.
No,
I've never been. I've always wanted to go.
I always thought I was going to be a surfer, like not pro, but I seriously am obsessed with the surfing culture. Like,
me too.
I love
it.
Yeah, like
I just know that I won't be good at it, so I skateboarded when I was younger, though.
Yeah, it's tough. I've been a few times.
Yeah, right.
It's tough. Yeah,
it's a good way to get into DJing. Look at Fisher.
Is that what he did? Is that what he did before?
Yeah, he was a professional surfer. Yeah.
Oh shit.
Wait, who
I didn't
was?
know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
He's
he's
really
like,
good.
I'll make house music now.
That's right.
That's cool. So Zach and Alex, aside from production, what else are you guys doing? I know you guys had a lot of gigs going at the end.
Yeah. Honestly, we were wanting to take kind of like a step back from playing so many gigs before this happened.
Yeah.
So this kind of
JB
forced
and I
our
called
hand.
that. JB
Yeah.
and I called that.
I was
I
thinking
mean,
that.
like it was good. Like all the shows we played for, I would have wanted to play for, like Green Velvet, Chris Lake Fisher. Like you can't say no to any of those. So, I mean, but this kind of forced our hand to back it up a little bit and focus more on like producing and other things just outside of DJing too.
Good. That's
But
awesome.
other than that, I mean, we've had, obviously last week wasn't so much, but we had some good weather not too long ago, and so we've been spending a lot of time out back. We got
We have a nice little patio out there.
yard and a patio, and so that's been nice too. Yep.
You guys just moved, right?
No, we've been here for about 6 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's right. I seen your place just not too long
Came
ago.
over the night of Green Velvet.
Yeah,
right?
but you moved. I remember your old place too, though.
Yeah.
Looks the
Not
same.
far.
Looks like every other house in Columbus.
Speaking of that Green Velvet show, that was one of my favorite shows.
Yeah,
that I can
that
remember
little
recently
B3B.
going back to back with you guys, but I
Oh,
was
that
so
was fun.
sick. I had a stomach.
Yeah,
You almost
you were
Yeah.
trying not to play, and
I
like,
almost didn't play, but
if it was any other DJ playing back to back with us, we would have been like, "Yeah, dude, go home. We'll
Yeah.
take it." But I was
And
like, "I want
but
to do it."
what was so amazing was how well we synced together
Yeah, for
for
sure.
that set, and I
We have
feel
a little
like
bit. We have differences that like work well together.
worked
so.
well for him for that
Right.
opening set, and you know, obviously Green Velvet's so cool, and then you guys after partied with him, which we can talk
He
about.
came over to our house. It was awesome.
And then I saw him in Houston the
Yeah.
next day. It's
Oh
so,
yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, for
Wow.
so that was so much
Couldn't
fun.
get away from us.
Yeah.
Freaky Deaky or something like that.
And you guys
Yeah, I
already
got
know
to play
what I'm
back to
gonna
back
ask.
with him for like 30 minutes. That was
Oh,
Crazy.
that's right. I saw
I was like-
videos.
insane.
Wow.
Yep. And you guys know what I'm gonna ask, and I already know the answer. Alex, what am I gonna ask right now?
Oh gosh, you put me on the spot.
Did you record the same thing I asked?
No.
Oh no, of
DJ?
course not, dude. Come on. You never record the afters.
I know that'd probably be in bad taste, but I feel like that's all the question I ask every DJ in Columbus.
We
That
have a
do you
couple
never miss?
videos, but
Yes.
not the actual recording of it.
But yeah, Dana, what's been keeping you busy in quarantine? What you been up to?
Yeah, sure. Well,
Decorating that
I-
beautiful house here.
no, not really. I have no money. My stimulus check has not come yet, so I can't do any more
Mine
decorating.
either. Where's it at?
I'm like, what the heck? And of course, the PP loan is done, so can't get money from that. But anyways, actually, exciting news. I just started writing for my MP3 pool blog. I've already written 3 articles, and my focus is going to be featuring doing DJ interviews. So
Oh,
Right.
there you go.
I'll probably be hitting all of you up to be interviewing you.
Nice.
So I'm excited about that. Yeah, because I was writing for Mobile Beat magazine for a while, like years and years, but I just felt like I needed something different. And then it was interesting because the timing, right as I had started for my MP3,
Right.
actually, I just got an email that Mobile Beat magazine is pretty much most likely, it doesn't sound like it's going to be as strong, I'll say. I'm not
Right.
going to officially say it's done,
Right.
but
Not
I
on
just
this
think my
podcast.
MP3 pool, also has much larger reach as well. So I think that's
Right.
going to be awesome. Yeah, and then, besides obviously maintaining like my health, mental, physical, I've been making sure like you guys getting out every day in the sunshine and going for daily. I've been making a point to do 1 mile jog or walk every day outside, and then I'm
Need to
doing
do
like
that.
HIIT workouts at home. So that, meditation, I'm still trying to get into, and yoga.
You're giving
And
me
then,
way too much credit because I haven't seen the sun in 2 days. I'll go outside if it's
Oh.
50
Dude,
plus.
it's right behind you,
Yeah,
man.
turn around.
Nah,
Really?
nah, 50 plus. No, because sometimes like in spring in Ohio, it'll look like a nice day, and then you get out there, but it's still 30.
Like 40.
But that's
Today,
Ari had
that's
to
exactly
use.
how today is.
yeah,
See how nice it is here. Look at this. It's amazing.
I don't know.
Is that
I go
Simba behind you?
crazy. I know. You should have a stuffed like Simba with you on this.
Ooh, are you drinking wine?
Listen,
Yeah.
I don't believe in, you know,
Oh,
stuff
I need to get
that's,
some.
I don't believe in
LC
taxidermy.
delivered it to me. The LC goat,
Uh-huh.
you know, they delivered
Nice.
bottles now.
You prefer white wine?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sauvignon Blanc, New Zealand. That's
Okay.
like my thing. Yeah. But
Dude, Condada's
That sounds
doing.
fancy when you say that.
I know, right? I've kind of gotten a little fancy with my wine. So. But I keep it
Condato's
under
what?
$15.
They're doing
Yeah,
take home margaritas.
Condato's? Oh, nice.
Oh, nice.
Oh, well, we can shut this down right now.
Meet you in the parking lot.
That's a great deal.
Yeah.
We should do something, Mike. We should do something where we give our guests margaritas and they just show up during the interview. And then we're all
Yeah.
sipping margaritas.
I agree with that.
Start
We
it
can
on
do
the
this.
phone.
Mike will work on the funding. I'll make the calls. That's right.
Great.
Writing that one down for sure.
I like that idea.
So we kind of got ahead of ourselves, which I like, but I just, maybe people don't know who you guys are. Maybe you can just tell them your story, you know, what you had to do to make it on this podcast. As seeing as this is like such a legendary podcast, what was your application like? And yeah, who you are as a DJ. And Dana, why don't you start?
Okay. So I've been like, my background is, I've been actually DJing for 19 years, which sounds crazy saying, but yeah, I started when I was a naive, curious little college girl, and I hung out with all the DJs on campus because one of my friends was dating one. I've always loved music though. I've always been the first to hit the dance floor. So it was definitely a natural fit. And one of the guys that ran the group, actually, I will mention him because you guys may know him. It was down in, because I went to Miami of Ohio. So it was down in Oxford, DJ Toad.
Yes.
Which he's still
Name.
DJing.
We watched
Yeah,
his
now. So
stream yesterday.
yeah. So he was the one that booked all the DJs. So I kind of fell in with that group. He, you know, said, "Hey, are you interested in giving this a try?" I said, "Yes." So he kind of showed me how to use it. Back then it was Pioneer CDJs had just come out. So I learned how to use the 1000s. And then I bought my own set, of 100. That was like my starter set with CDs. And so that's really, that became my hobby, became my college cash fund. I did all the nightclub and bars and then started doing the formals and all that stuff with the sorority and fraternity stuff. And then post-college, I just continued doing it while I worked, you know, Monday through Friday, corporate job. And then eventually moved out to LA to pursue that dream job. And then I DJ'd actually to pay my bills. So it was kind of fun. So I just always was a subcontractor. You know, I kind of just got into the mobile scene, doing private events really, and stuck with it. And then when I moved back here to Ohio, I was in Dayton for a little bit. And then 6 years ago was when I started my own business and decided I wanted to go for this full time. So I've been officially full-time DJing for 6 years now. And then I moved here to Columbus 3.5 years ago.
Wow.
So
Amazing.
that's kind of like the fast.
It's a nice journey right there.
Fast journey. Yeah. So currently what I do is I do a wide variety of events. If you follow me, you'll see that I do anything from fashion, corporate, weddings, social events. And then I also travel on cruise ships worldwide. So that's been a fun travel experience for me as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
That is awesome. So you've done a little bit of all types of events, kind of like Access and myself. What mixer was that? Was that like a Pioneer 600 at the time?
I think, the first one?
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm
gosh.
trying to think because when those CDJs came out,
It was.
I was on.
It could have been a
Technics.
600. Oh, yeah? Yeah.
Yeah, but I had Serato. I'm not gonna act like I was carrying around vinyl.
Oh, did you?
But all the DJs I learned from were.
Yeah, I didn't use Serato for the first few years.
I bet you their back hurts.
Yeah.
Carrying out
I
that
know.
vinyl.
I don't remember the mixer. It was definitely Pioneer. It was 2-channel. Because when I bought my own set, it was a CDJ 100s, and then I think it was it must have been either DJM 600. Gosh, I'll have to look. But I remember the CD case. You know, so sorry, I just have to like nostalgic moment here. But if you all remember, like if you DJ with CDs, that. And it was kind of similar to vinyl though, because you just can't quickly like search in your computer. So I had like all of the genres separated and divided by, it was color coded. I'm a very like visual person. So I literally had all of like, let's say my 2000s hip hop was all like bright neon orange, and then it had a certain font. So I knew and I could memorize where certain songs were by the color and by the font style. And
Yeah, that
why.
actually
Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I do something similar to
Mike
that.
does a color coding, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Have you watched like old school DJs flip through CDs or vinyl records like crates and just know exactly? They're just like, and you're just like, it takes me that same amount of time to twist the knob and hit. Like, what is that?
Dude,
some
Carl
of the battle
Cox has
DJs.
like a huge like its own like side house full of vinyls, and he can go right to one.
He
and
knows
tell you
every- yeah.
it's
He
crazy.
should though.
That
Yeah.
guy's
God, he's amazing.
everything I hear about.
That's
that
like his
guy.
brain on a shelf. You know what I mean? Like,
Ugh. Yeah, he's
Dun,
amazing.
dun, dun, dun,
oh my gosh, where we at?
You're in Low. Talk to me. What's your guys' story? What do you want people to know about you? How'd you guys get together?
Yeah.
Sure, I'll start. So I started DJing in Athens, Ohio. I went to OU.
Oh.
Shout out to B-Funk. Shout
I
out
started
to
with
Donovan.
B-Funk.
Oh, yeah.
The Dave Rave back. I don't think Dave Rave's a thing anymore, but they went strong for a while I
He
was
sure did.
in school, and then that was about a little over 8 years ago now. And then I moved here to Columbus about 2.5 years ago. And just in Athens, I just played like house parties. I didn't really play shows or anything. And I really didn't start getting serious until I moved to Columbus. And I met Zach. But talk about where you started.
So I was going to school down at FSU, and I've always been interested in house music. My mom's been into it for like since I can remember. I remember being like 5 years old and listening to like house and break beats and stuff like when it was first blowing up, I guess. And then after I got my first controller when I was at FSU, I was kind of messing around, didn't have anybody else teach me or anything. But then when I moved up here, I met a lot of you guys who were like great mentors, obviously. And yeah, I was at Thump playing one of my like earlier gigs, and I met Alex. He was wearing a Dirty Bird shirt, and we were about to go to Dirty Bird camp out like a month later maybe or something like that. And I was like, are you going to camp out? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, who are you going with? He's like, I didn't know him at the time at all. And he was like, nobody. I was like, well, you should just come with us. And we like every set, every banger that was played, we would just look at each other and be like, whoa. And then that's how we knew like we had the same taste in music at least. So
Absolutely, man. That's awesome.
So that started.
Yeah,
And you guys
I've
just
actually
clicked?
never heard that story. That was touching.
I haven't either.
Yeah,
well, yeah,
that's cool.
you moved in like 3 months after that too.
Yeah.
Because you were trying to get out of your mom's house, and then I got a set of CDJs, and then from there we just decided to DJ together.
How long have you been going to house shows and stuff before you decided you were gonna DJ?
Oh man, not long before I started. Probably like 14, 15. So, or wait, no, if I started 8 years ago, I'd say probably like 10 years ago.
Okay.
So maybe a couple years. But I mean, right away, I wanted to be behind the decks.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, you guys have definitely got a good resume quick. I mean, the shows that you guys have
We're
done,
lucky.
it's been awesome. But you guys
Got
deserve
you to
it.
thank for that, yeah.
You guys definitely deserve it. It's you guys worked for the brand, your support, like the people support you because you guys are just good people. You know what I mean? It's not just
Yeah,
you
we
do.
want to hang out with everybody, really.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Like you do make good music and you play good music, but there's also something about you guys that you have a good reputation in the city.
Thanks,
People
bro.
like
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, man, absolutely.
It's a lot of thanks to you guys too,
Dude, I mean,
earning the
we're all
respect
in
of
this together, man. Because
the big guys.
Columbus, man, it's
For
just
real.
you gotta.
I wish everybody would realize that, honestly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well,
I agree.
it's
Instead of like
there's a lot of
worrying about it,
DJs. A lot of DJs want gigs, and but to get those gigs, it takes a lot of work and a lot of respect and a lot of
not doing what everybody else is doing too.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
A lot of that.
So there you go. But
Speaking of not doing what everyone else is doing, have you guys watched Tiger King yet? Have you guys finished it?
I have
haven't-
He
not.
won't. He
I
refuses, dude.
Yeah.
I was in
Honestly-
that boat, Alex, and then I watched episode 1 and 2, and I haven't picked it back up, and I'm wondering whether I should finish it or not.
Dude, I think I missed an episode because when it ended, I was like, this is what people have been like raving about. I didn't get it at all. Like,
dude,
I
it's
had
just
something.
it was too weird for me.
Yeah.
All right, so what are you guys enjoying? What are the last like 2 movies or TV shows that you enjoyed?
Oh man. I'm on Community
You're
right
gonna
now.
Love Community.
The show about
So
community college. Yeah, a lot of comedians. I'm all about the comedy stuff. So that's what I've been watching lately.
You like Andrew Scholes?
Who's that?
Oh man, I'm gonna send you a link. Look up
Okay.
Andrew Scholes on Instagram. He actually posts a bunch of small clips. He's my new favorite stand-up. I don't think he's on
Okay.
Netflix or anything.
I haven't
He's
heard
pretty,
of him. I'll check him out.
He's pretty inappropriate, but as
Alright.
long as you don't
Oh,
get
Aren't they all?
offended
Yeah.
too easily, it's pretty funny.
Yeah, send him my way.
I think he actually came to Funny Bone one time. I missed him.
Never been there.
Neither. I want to go see Chris D'Elia there. I love him.
Too busy going to other shows, music
Right.
shows.
So I have a question for both of you guys. Dana, you can go first. Like, when do you think we will be back to DJing? Obviously everyone has a different opinion. Nobody knows for sure,
Right.
There's new news coming out all the time, but are you optimistic? Where's your head at with that?
I mean, I'm definitely optimistic. I'm more optimistic I'm gonna have to say on the wedding front than I would
Sure.
be on like the corporate and private event side. Because I think, well, obviously weddings are a special celebration, and I have to preface too, like I personally don't DJ a ton of weddings. I usually I average like 15 or under. So majority of my work is like social and corporate fashion and stuff. But I just feel like that is going to not go away. I mean, all of my weddings so far that I had booked have not canceled. They've just postponed. So I feel like that's a sign. All my corporate events have literally just said, we're going to reschedule, but haven't set a date any further. And just from what I've read and heard, I feel like corporate is going to take slower for that to resurge than other things. And I think there's just going to be a different mindset and approach to the private event scene anyways. And it might also transfer over to, the club world too. I don't know, because maybe more people are going to be skeptical about going out in large groups right away. It really all depends on, I think, how we can control this situation, with whether there's a great vaccine that comes out, that gives people more of a peace of mind and they're more comfortable with going out in large groups. So if I had to say, I feel like it's going to be the end of this summer before people are really going to start going out in large groups.
Right.
That's my guess.
I'm going to say May 7th because that's my birthday. And we're throwing a banger. Okay?
I love it. Okay, but I'll say my optimistic side says June.
May
There you
7th.
go.
Yeah, I'm thinking like
May.
late summer. That's what I'm guessing.
Mike, I don't even think I've asked you that question. Where's your quick thoughts on that?
Oh man, I don't even know if I want to talk about that.
Makes me sad thinking about
It
it.
does. It's sad to
Yeah.
think about because it's so you just don't know what's going on. But the whole phase 2, phase 3 thing has me feeling a little optimistic. I feel like they're finally pushing towards opening the economy. However, I think even though it's my job as a DJ, I think I don't want to open too early and then it get worse again. And then we have to do this all over again.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
So that's where my head's at, is like, if we're gonna fix it, let's fix it, and then we can go back to work.
Yep.
But
Yeah, I think what Dana said hit it right on the head. Like, we got to see a vaccine or some kind of like different testing or something. It's got to change before we can realistically think about that.
I know you're bummed about the forest. I know
Oh
I
yeah,
am, bro.
that's man.
It's
That's my
postponed.
favorite
We don't
place
talk
in the
about that
world.
here, dude.
Yeah.
That's how I feel, man. Like if I talk about it, it's like it'd be a sad podcast. It's like, all right, we're good.
It's
Well, we do
tough,
the same
man.
shit. All right, cool.
So how's your life sucking, man?
What trips did you miss out on?
Yeah, we don't have to go that road. I just know that they love Forrest, and
Oh yeah.
I haven't
Everybody
really
loves
got to
Forrest.
like
Yeah,
talk
man.
about it with anybody.
We were
Oh.
hoping this is the year we got to infiltrate into the forest
Yeah,
and
maybe
play
get,
like a
like, a
silent
silent
disco.
disco.
Nice.
We
Forrest,
played the Renegade stage
uh,
last year, Pinky Ring. But we want to get in there, you know?
Yep.
100%.
that's the one music festival that I really want to go to that I have not been to.
It's
Oh,
top. It's my
Yeah.
favorite.
Probably everybody who
Yours
goes.
favorite too, right, James?
Yeah. But I told you, I know EDC is your favorite, but that's only because you haven't been to Forest.
Yeah, I forgot.
I'm pretty confident. Like, don't get me wrong, I'll go to Forest eventually, but I'm fairly confident that there's
I know,
no
but
way
what he's
it
saying
beats
is he
out
likes
Ultra, let
the
alone EDC.
clubs at night
Yeah.
art. Which
Yeah.
Not even that.
Well,
Not even
dude.
that. I just don't like to camp. I'm
Bro, but
here,
this is
what I was talking
different.
about.
You must
No,
love
dude.
Miami Music
I
Week.
understand it's different, but like there's two things I treasure in this world. There is the post-rave shower and there is the post-rave nap. And the post-rave nap usually goes from like 3 to like 8 a.m. And I can't be interrupted because that's the time where my serotonin's coming back, like everything's good, right? So
I'm looking for the post-rave rave.
Old man vibes.
exactly. And I'll be hanging out with you guys. I won't get any. So by like day 1.5, I'm dead.
Dude.
Dude, I will say, when you're at Forest after hours and you see the sun coming up, you're questioning.
No, dude,
Nah,
that's when I
that's the
slap
best.
the bag. You know,
Okay, but yeah, day 1 and 2, but then day 3, you're just like,
I think
I
that's
need
the
water.
You
Zach,
shift
how
your
old are
whole
you? I think
schedule
that's like the
back, like
6 year
6 hours.
difference between Corrupt, me, and you. I think that's
Yeah.
exactly what we're talking about right now.
I'm
That's
an
the
old soul.
underlying issue.
An old soul. There it is. Yeah.
dude,
Yo, I
don't
want
tell
you
me
guys
I'm gonna
both
stop
to-
slapping the bag when I'm 28. Like,
No, you
I'm
don't
still
stop.
slap.
Slap it a little lighter. You know,
All right.
one bag.
Like, let's give them
We
a
respect the
minute or
bag.
2 each to promote themselves. As far as, obviously, you gave us your background on how you got to where you're at, but give us a rundown of exactly what your style is, or in what you're currently working on.
Who are you talking to?
Either one go first. I'm both of you guys.
Go ahead.
You got it, Dana.
Oh,
Nope. Ladies
okay.
first.
Ladies
Aw.
first.
So I'm first and foremost open format. That's, you know, how I was like originally trained, and that's the majority of my DJ work. However, I love me some house music. So that speaks to my heart. I haven't really had many opportunities to play it. I mean, also in Dublin on the rooftops, I get to play around with it, but I do really love tropical house and deep house, and I definitely have come and see you. I haven't seen you guys yet if you're in Low, but you know, I've come to Dahlia when I can to like check out the shows. So yeah, so I guess that's it. That answers your question.
You said you like tropical house, right?
I do. I love.
Have you seen the
tropical house.
Kyga documentary?
Yes.
You were just talking about Kygo.
So good.
He just
I
put
love
out a new
Kygo.
track today, I think.
Yeah. Ready?
Today?
Today, sometime recently, the last couple days.
It's a cool documentary.
Is there anything you're working on, Dana, that we should know about?
The
No,
MP3
actually, well, as
pool.
far as producing, no. I mean, I'm not. Yeah, I don't dabble in producing, to be honest.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, besides the MP3 pool, so the writing, I'm doing a lot of writing right
Interviews,
now.
yep.
Yeah, and the interviews. What else? I'm working on, honestly, a lot of like revising marketing.
Okay.
And a lot of like those back burner projects that I didn't get to, get around to, cleaning out, decluttering. And I'm actually gonna definitely sit down and work on my music, like my crates, and reorganizing those.
I'm gonna do that.
Have fun with that.
And I've been
Sure, you
live
got
streaming.
3
I know
days.
it's been daunting. It's so daunting. Like I put it off all the time, but
Just do a
I've
little
also
bit
actually
every
had
day.
some. Yeah, I know.
10 minutes every
but
day,
it's just
and
like
at 10 minutes will turn to 20, 20 will turn to 30, because these are songs you probably
it's
love.
bad though. Yeah,
I'm
it's
telling you,
bad.
just set some time to do it, and you'll do it for like 2 or 3 hours. Your hands will hurt, and then you'll do something else. But it's not that bad once you actually start. These are all songs that you at one point in your life picked out and were like, yo, this is dope. I'm gonna play this for people. So it can't be that bad,
Yeah.
right?
No.
Dude.
And actually I've been curating like, so I'm kind of later on with Spotify, but I decided, okay, that's what I want to do, because I realized there's like a demand too from a lot of people. They want to do music and dance and have fun because it uplifts everybody. So I've done like a couple random like Facebook dance parties, live stream, and then I started curating like Spotify playlists, and I've had some good feedback from that too. And for me, that's been fun because it's also reminding me of some tracks that to start working back into my rotation.
Nice.
So, yeah.
All right, Zach and Alex, assume somebody doesn't know who you are. Tell us about you guys, what your style is.
So like I said, like we first found each other's like music style at Dirty Bird Camp Out. So Dirty Bird's where we're kind of like started listening to tech house. We play tech house, but lately, the more like UK style DJs have been influencing our sound. Like if you hear like Max Chapman, Iglesias, or like Michael Beebe, like Solid Grooves guys. So it's like more based on like around percussion, like trying to fit a lot of percussion in there and grooviness instead of like just like lots of bass, you know?
Right. So yeah, I've heard a lot of minimal style from you guys. Is that kind of the route you're going right now?
Yeah, that's like one of our styles.
That's what we found. We're starting to like what we produce is definitely more minimal. Now when we play, it depends on when we play on what we're gonna play, but we're starting to go into that like minimal tech. We call it minimal tech house.
Yeah.
I think that's fair. That's a good name for it.
Yeah. We actually, what was it? Early March, we had an EP that hit the Beatport top 10 on their minimal tech house genre.
Awesome, man.
So that was really cool. It's called The Funk. Yeah, so really crazy to see. That was our second EP ever. So.
Yeah.
And obviously most of our audience might be DJs, but if you don't know, Beatport is the
it's like iTunes for DJs, basically.
#1 house music chart. You can go to beatport.com if you love house music, and you can see what they're talking about. Look up their EP, The Funk.
Use
It's
our
definitely
hashtag.
very good. I remember when you guys first started producing. I just think you guys have quality music, and I think
Thanks, man.
You
the
too.
same effort on the networking front. I know that you guys are keeping in touch with like Golf Clap and bigger artists that you've worked with or opened for.
Yeah, this quarantine is actually making things a lot easier for like networking. Like every DJ, like I talked about, like in Kyle Watson, naming our dog after him, he has like a Patreon page where you can talk to him about your music. And like pretty much all of our favorite producers are doing like feedback sessions and like tutorials and all types of stuff.
Yeah, man, it's time to learn.
Yeah,
definitely.
It's awesome.
So James mentioned earlier that we've been on Warzone. I want to know, not like recent, unless something's really been blowing your mind, but what's your favorite video game of all time? Dana, I know you've been on the the Mario Kart thing for a minute.
I challenge you. Which Mario Kart?
Love Mario Kart, but I don't.
Is that number one? Is that number one overall?
Yeah,
Nintendo 64.
I don't have Nintendo because that's all I would be doing.
Let's
Mario
go.
Kart. Yeah.
Welcome to the
Okay. Do you
club.
have it? All right. Well, I don't.
Challenge
I need to get it. I need to get out. But yeah, Mario Kart's definitely like favorite video game of all time.
I love Rocket League. That was always at FSU. My roommate had a projector, so it'd be huge. The car would be like life size in our living room.
Am I gonna get yelled at for not knowing what that is?
Rocket League? Oh, dude. That's like
I don't know.
It was on ESPN the other day.
Yeah.
I'll look
It's
it
like
up.
soccer, but it's like soccer.
I'm
but
with you, James.
cars.
I didn't know what it was either.
Okay.
It's very fun.
I don't
Dude,
like
I've
soccer. I'm not a big
put
soccer
many,
person.
many
so-
It's
hours.
like
Mario
Kart 2018.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Oh, I'd be down.
Favorite all time. I just played through the Crash
there we
Bandicoot
go.
like
Oh.
remaster on the PlayStation remaster. I love Crash Bandicoot. They have a racing game too, Crash Team Racing. Probably gonna buy it.
Okay.
Nice.
Basically Mario Kart with different characters, but
I never had
I'm
a PlayStation.
I've always
so
been a Sony guy, so that's
So if you're taking a studio break, for me, it's now video games. It wasn't. I was watching a lot of TV and movies and stuff, but it just got kind of boring to me. I felt like, I don't know, it was just, and all my friends play video games, so I built a computer. What are you guys doing for like studio breaks since you're spending so much time in the studio? Like, are you to get your mind away? Obviously, you said you're going outside.
When
You say obviously like everybody's going outside. Not everybody's going outside.
Well, no, because they said it.
I know, but
we actually a couple weekends ago we set up like our canopy tent and had like some patio furniture and lights going up and set up like a mini campsite like we were at a festival.
Oh, that's cool.
And that was
less
kind
than
of
10
fun.
people.
Watch some live streams.
I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I have my tent up. It's great. We had a little tapestry hanging from it.
You guys watching a lot of live streams?
Yeah, dude.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
I was just saying, like, it's awesome
Yeah.
how many people that I wouldn't ever be able to see that I've seen.
You're
Like,
gonna miss
we just
that.
watched Disclosure. I've never seen.
Saw
them.
Mark Knight this morning.
I was
That
watching
great.
Mark Knight as well. And did you guys see
Dude,
Maceo?
that table was sick.
Yeah. Maceoplex after him had
we missed that
probably
one.
the dopest stream set up. He had a 360-degree green room, and then like
Wow.
was rotating around him with some dope visuals, like really well done visuals. That's probably the
Cool.
best stream I've seen
Dude,
so far.
I saw
He actually killed it.
a picture of Dom Dalla where he's streaming
This
from,
setup looked really crazy.
and he's like in a warehouse by himself with like full on like rave production.
Production, yeah.
Like, it's
And
crazy.
is this the street?
Yeah,
The
it's
street's
just
watching?
him in a warehouse. Like,
There are, I can't say which companies on here right now, but there are companies starting to get venues for this and book
wow.
artists, and they're gonna set it all up, and they have these guys come in and live stream.
that's cool.
Oh.
With a system? Like, what the hell's the system for? Just
Oh,
for show?
Insomniac. is
Yeah.
going on, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. There's like different companies that are gonna
Yeah.
start getting locations locked down and having local and national acts come and do live streams.
Well, hook
to
us
the-
up, man. Let us know.
I
when
know.
you
Yeah, I
come.
will.
Do you see that
Right.
happening here in Columbus, James, with any of like
I
the
think
venues?
it's very possible. It
Well,
just
the forum
depends
is
on.
doing it tonight. The
Yeah,
forum's doing
yeah.
it right now. Actually.
There you go. Promote that if you want.
Hey
On
guys,
my
go
614
watch
releases.
the forum.
Yeah, we're actually playing on that at 10 o'clock, 10 Eastern tonight. We're playing from the
Oh, okay.
forum.
I got a
Yeah.
gig, man. I can't.
I got.
All
Yeah.
right, yeah.
You gotta
Next
get
I
time.
those-
can't watch
gotta
it,
get
bro.
those-
I'll be there. I will.
If
I
I'm
will tune in.
alive and there's only 20 people left in Warzone, I don't know if I'll be there.
No, I'll,
Just
I'll,
kidding.
I'll
I'll-
tune in.
If you wanna watch, that's on the Run 614 Twitch page, and that's also going from the forum's Facebook page. So however
You
you
guys
want
stole my
to.
thunder. That was my 614 releases to send them over there after this. But
Shout out
Hey,
Oz
do it
10,
again. Do it
Yeah.
again.
probably have
Oz
him
10,
on here soon.
still doing his thing.
hmm what else could we ask you guys? Dana, you've been you're like the queen of like the lip sync and karaoke challenge. I want to ask, what are like your go-to lip sync and karaoke songs? Like someone like runs in your door and says, "I need to see you lip sync this the best." What do you got?
Well, first of all, no one wants to hear me karaoke. I have a terrible voice, so it's all lip singing, baby. No, honestly, I just always I started doing so for my break from a working right now, doing like just putting on a really good song and just having like a dance party. And then I just like started, I don't know, being goofy and taping myself, and like I always lip if I know the words. I actually don't know a lot of lyrics to songs because I always listen to the beat. But so I don't know if I can say I have like a quote go-to like lip singing song, because honestly I just kind of started. But I do have to say, 90s music and Disney songs, some of the best lip singing out there. Recently, I did a lip sync challenge to help raise money for local Columbus healthcare workers, and another DJ here in Columbus, Josh Staley from Josh Staley Productions, was the one who came up with the idea and started like tagging people. So I did sync to Rupert Holmes' Pina Colada.
Nice.
Yeah. And then an NBC4 local news picked it up, so I got like 10 seconds of fame.
Hey,
Hey,
cool. There you go.
made it.
Pina Colada, Fear and Low remix coming out on Tool Room Records.
Yes.
May
Can any of you
2nd.
guys make a remix? I will
Yeah,
dance and
got it.
lips my heart out.
We got you.
Corrupt, you had a question for Fear and Low. I don't know the story behind it. You
Oh,
The
yeah.
keys?
told me you wanted to ask about it.
This is the
so.
keys.
Yeah, I wanted to know, were you both were there, right?
I was not.
He wasn't.
It was
Okay,
just
so
Zach.
so Zach, I just was thinking about that because I was gonna ask you what was your worst gig ever, but I already, you know
Well,
what?
let's talk about my worst gig ever.
Hold
No,
on,
it was
hold
the same-
on.
It was the
So-
same one. It was the same one. I guarantee it.
Okay, so yeah, so it honestly wasn't the worst gig for me.
No, it wasn't.
Because he gave me an RV.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. Like, you got your keys locked in your car, but we
that
had
was
an
Spencer.
RV.
I don't know if Spencer was high or if he was drunk, but he opens my trunk, puts my keys in it, and
Man.
Move your
Close
mic,
it.
James. Move your mic.
yeah, so he puts the keys in the trunk and closes the trunk. Next thing you know, I have neighbors coming over with different tools and trying to get my
Yeah,
car
dude.
open. I got 10 people working on my car at once. I'm worried. They're like, well, let's just
Dude.
break the window. I'm like, no.
They're like, we gotta run to the bar and get some tools real quick. We'll be right back.
Dude, it
You
was
just got
wild.
it out in, like,
This was the whole time where you guys were playing, weren't you?
No, dude, we were in the RV. Thank God we had the RV, and thank God we had Jay, who was just on it the whole time.
Yeah.
But no,
We had a
I
good
swear.
group of friends to make it. Like we turned
we
it.
oh, dude, it
fun.
wasn't that bad.
But
All right, so I think I'm still confused, and maybe our listeners are too.
okay, yeah, I'm sorry. This is
Actually, have
this was
heard
a
this. What?
hold on. I'm not gonna blast them out on here.
Yeah, me neither.
But it was a show in Michigan that just didn't. There wasn't many people showing up, but I booked them, right? Both of you together.
Just
Okay,
I had something else going on.
Okay.
I can't remember what it was.
And I was like, hey, this is a big opportunity for you. Like, you got to do it. And he's like, okay. So we drove up and
6 hours.
Yeah. And, it was just the highlight of the night was Spencer putting my keys in my trunk. And then we just drank a lot.
Yeah, dude.
Played to nobody or something.
I remember I'm
he
a
played
big
to
Ohio
a few
State
people.
football fan. So that night, Ohio State beat Penn State. So I got really drunk.
Yeah.
There you go.
But yeah, we kind of asked all the DJs what your worst gig ever is, but it's like a negative topic, but I like it to be fun, not like we're bashing
Yeah.
anyone, just like
Right.
what's something that was unexpected or went wrong on a show for you.
Oh, I
Dana,
got one. Definitely.
Dana, do you have one? We'll start with you, and then we'll go to Zach.
Yeah, go ahead. Dana, go ahead.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh,
you
wait,
first.
I had to like. Oh, I had to think about like
Oh,
worst
she
gig.
passes. She passes.
All right, think
No,
about
like
it.
I
got
have
one.
some for sure, but let me think for a minute. Like, so you
Okay.
guys go if you. Yeah.
So last year we played this gig where we showed up and we were going to start and they didn't have a mixer. They just had 2 CDJs but no mixer, so we had no way to play. And that was pretty stressful. I ended up driving home to grab my mixer, and when I got home, Zach called me and said that it showed up.
And
So,
this was like one of our bigger local
yeah, it was
shows.
a pretty important show. So we were definitely stressing about it.
Yeah.
But I ended up showing up like 5 minutes after we started. But it all worked out in the end. We had a good crowd, so that's
There you go.
That's why I always got that
issues are
one.
temporary one.
Got to have that one promo mix on that flash drive. That in case of the
Yeah,
of the show, you
yeah,
just put it through straight through the CDJ.
Straight through the CDJ.
Yeah.
Would you
Yeah,
guys
that
rather
was-
do that, or would you rather not play? Would you rather play a mix? Like, let's say
I'd
a
rather
mixer
not play.
actually doesn't show. Just
Yeah,
rather
I'd
not
let
play?
the house probably take care
Or
of it.
I would just make it known that this is not me playing. Like,
Just be dancing out in the crowd, stage dive.
Yeah.
What about you, Dana? Are you putting on a flash drive, or you rather not play?
No, yeah, no, I actually thought about. So I think some of the worst gigs for me too are for sure where you're not just connecting with the crowd, you know, you just can't feel like that vibe. And that to me is the worst. And you're just doing everything and anything you can, and it's just nothing's working. Those are definitely like the worst gigs. But I have had like some technical stuff happen that is super, you know, stressful. Like I had someone spill, which I'm sure you all have experienced that, when someone spills a beer on your CD. I had my SC and they spilled beer on my right, and it was towards the end of the event too. And I was like, like I just like my mind, as I saw, I was like slow motion, like no, you know, as like I saw the girl like, you know, on my CDJ. But that was definitely worse. But I recovered somehow miraculously, but it was only like the last 10 minutes of the event. So I'd say that, you know, situations like that definitely marks for a worst gig scenario.
Yeah, James, from time to time, there could be alcohol, you know, on the equipment, and it makes it malfunction. You wouldn't know this at Dahlia because all the equipment is pristine there.
Not just Dahlia, dude. Like all the college nights I used to do, I've went through multiple laptops, and it's, you know, the college kids, when they do it, they're just like, I didn't do it. You know, it's like, what? And they just run, you know?
You're the only guy out there.
Yeah, that's never good when the equipment goes down or there is no equipment. And that's a common, I think that happens to everyone, honestly. At some point, you're going to be faced with that adversity. But yeah, it sounds like you guys overcame both of those scenarios. I played it, or no, so I was.
All right, we'll let James fix his internet. Everybody just keep on eating, you know, just pretend like nothing didn't happen. James, if you can hear me.
Dude, I want to take a screenshot.
All right, so we have to move on. Unfortunately, we have to move on. So we tried to do a crazy question on the podcast. James had the crazy question for Fear and Low. I had yours, Dana. So in your travels, what was your biggest episode of Culture Shock?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I thought about that one because I mean, I'd say so. Just recently, actually, on the cruise I did in February, because we were in Southeast Asia, we stopped in a few different reasons. So there, I have opposites. So I was culture shock when we went to Singapore, because Singapore is the most advanced technology wise, and just like clean and pristine and like nothing I've ever seen before.
It's like walking into the future, right?
Oh my gosh. It was crazy. So that was a culture shock from that standpoint. And also the humidity was a culture shock. The humidity was like on another level. It was awful. And then the other end of the spectrum was Cambodia. We stopped in this little port called Sanukville. And it was interesting because we took a little tuk-tuk and we rented, and it was cute. I called it the BMW tuk-tuk because that little BMW like but a friend of mine so as we were going through the little city, there literally would be like this huge like 5-star resort, casino, and beach resort. But then directly next to it on the other side, I mean, it was just like very, very, very like just like poverty everywhere. I mean, there was just kills roaming the streets. There was like dust everywhere. There was construction everywhere. It was crazy extremes. I've never seen that crazy extremes in one city before. It was literally, and like, how, you know, because sometimes when you go into a city, it'll be city, and obviously it would be like maybe poverty on outside the city, but this was both combined in the city. That was really interesting. Just driving around that, just the sights and like the smells and the sounds, it was just like all over the place. I was like, ooh, like sensory overload. So it was interesting. So there would be like we went and stopped at some pagodas, and there would be a pagoda that was built like in the 18th century. And then he took us to this other one, and it was like brand spanking new, modern, and he was telling us like it was $8 million, and how do you guys afford this? So it was crazy extremes.
Dana never heard the expression the other side of the tracks. That's
Yes.
sort of shocking to you.
Yes.
James, I forgot what you were talking about when you had your little vacation. How are you? You okay? We lost
this
you for a
working?
minute there. Yeah,
Yeah, you're back.
we just want to make
Okay.
sure you're all right.
You
'cause you were
stopped
telling
like
us-
this for like 10
Yeah,
seconds.
you're like
My-
this.
It's really dramatic.
My internet
You're
went
like-
out. What was I talking? The
Something
The
about
gig.
that, like bad experiences, DJ.
Yeah,
equipment.
so Numberfest, well, it was going to be a big opportunity for me closing out the main stage. This was when the BYOB was there, and there was about 10,000 people out there.
Good times.
And right before Borges End, I had my USB in my hand. I'm right behind him. I'm nervous, like I'm ready, but I'm excited. And Zach Rubin gets a radio call saying that the bus transportation for the students got overran by the students.
No.
They had to end early, so I didn't get to play. And I had sold all those
Ah.
tickets, and like everybody
Oh,
was ready.
wow.
I planned that set, and it was just that was like devastating. That was
Yeah.
like I just drove all the way back to Columbus. Like
Were there-
Oh.
Did
Yeah,
anything-
that's horrible, man.
Did anything positive come out of that, James? Did you were there any teaching moments? Were there any like additions to your contract? Like, yo, if I don't play, I still get my fee and this, that, the other. Like, is there a teaching moment from that or just
they took care of me, and I think they gave me something else, some other show to make up for that. So it wasn't like I was mad at anyone. It was unavoidable, but you just never know what can happen, whether it's equipment or, something happens with the actual show that you prepped for so long, like a cancellation, like, so that was just like something that I remember. And now I'm just like, man, it really wasn't as big of a deal as I made it at the time, but
Yeah, that's frustrating.
Yeah. Oh my
We
goodness.
were supposed to close out a show recently, and we didn't get to do that. And so I know
we're at,
shout
the
them
other-
out? We'll bleep
the
it.
other
We're
world-
not gonna bleep it.
It was A-Track, and it was kind of like whenever he feels like stopping thing, and when you're in Otherworld, you don't feel like stopping. So he just played through, and
gotcha.
that was frustrating, but we got to play there.
So how long did he play?
It was
2
2.5
hours,
hours,
2.5.
probably.
Oh,
So-
gotcha.
That's so crazy. Dana's like, isn't that crazy how like that's like a long set? Oh, he played 2 hours. Damn, it's he played a long time.
Well,
I know.
No, I know. I'm messing with you. But, like,
probably
that's-
for
that's so
A-Track,
crazy.
that's definitely not.
Yeah, I think that's probably one of the longer sets he's played in a while.
Oh, really?
I was expecting like 10 hours.
No.
Like,
I was like,
we just
oh,
kept
The
going.
show itself's only like four
Yeah.
and a half, 5.
What's the longest DJ set you guys have played?
12 hours.
At home?
13.
Does that count?
Yeah, I don't know. We usually go till like 10 a.m.
I'll give you house party, but I'm not gonna give you practice. You can't just practice for 12 hours and call it a gig.
Yeah, I don't know, but we're always like,
At Electric Forest, we could go
yeah,
for like
we
12
had
hours.
like probably like a 5 hour just between the two of us at Forest at our RV set or RV camp. That's probably one of the longest we've gone together.
Yeah.
We usually
Damn.
once we get going, we'll have like anyone who's a DJ can hop through. So you can go forever when you do that.
Yeah.
Zach, I remember when I first met you, I don't think you were DJing yet. And we were just, I think I met you and I played maybe 1 or 2 parties at your mom's. And
Yeah.
those parties were crazy.
Dude,
Like, those were
her
so much
pool.
fun.
her pool,
packed.
indoor pool was so sick.
Good times.
Really good setup right there.
Yeah, it was
Great
awesome.
time.
Sweet.
I wish we could still do that.
Me too. I was thinking about that.
Fun.
the other day.
Maybe if May 7th happens, dude,
Yeah, that's
everybody
right.
stops
We're
being
opening
so
it back up.
pessimistic.
May 7th.
You don't have to
On
tell the
Hey man, I'm optimistic, bro. I'm ready
Yeah.
to DJ tomorrow.
I'm
like,
just kidding.
still
you
invite
know,
me off the record.
Yeah.
some epic parties there. Let's see what else. We added a new segment, James. This was your idea. Do you want to tell them about it?
Yeah, so we want to talk a lot about DJing, but we also like to just throw some random stuff in there. So I thought it'd be funny if we all did like a show and tell. Like it could be something DJ related or not DJ related, but just something that to let our viewers know a little bit something funny about you. Or I'll go last because I don't even know if this is gonna work.
I got 2.
Oh shoot,
Oh,
Zach's up first.
I guess he.
Zach's
Yeah.
been excited about this since 6:15.
Oh yeah,
Hello. Say hi, Watson.
there he is.
Hi, Watson.
Watson, the house dog.
This is Zach's dog.
He DJs.
He is.
Yeah, he's
Does he just jam out with you?
Dude, he loves shit. I hate it because he has huge ears and it's definitely harmful, but he sits right next to the sub when I'm making music.
Oh.
He likes the vibration.
this
He
song.
does.
Yeah.
And then we'll start playing like dubstep or something. Like one of our friends will play dubstep and he's like, I'm out.
Oh
Dude.
yeah, too much.
He's a house
How old
dog.
is he? He looks young.
Yeah.
It's like his birthday's July 31st, so 8,
Something like
9
that.
months.
Has he been loving? Go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say. So he's baby. Yeah, he's not even a year
Yeah.
yet.
Definitely.
Well, if we don't celebrate your birthday, his is coming up.
We're celebrating his.
There
Oh,
you
he'll have more people at his birthday party than I will.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Does he have an Instagram account?
No,
Not
my
yet.
girlfriend won't do it.
Thinking about.
Taylor, get on it.
We're gonna call it. We have a name, but we haven't set it up. It's Park Corgi.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I like it.
He's
Yeah.
been doing, he does some pretty cool tricks.
Oh wait,
Wow,
is
that's
that
cool
a
for
treat?
All right, but my actual show and tell is my Easter present.
Oh wow. Wait a
They're
minute.
called boomers.
What?
This looks like a Japanese toy.
It does
And
look
this
like-
one has one in his booty hole.
Nice.
Oh,
That is
Take
awesome.
an eye out, dude.
Dude, it's gonna be hard to beat that one.
I know.
Those are called
And they can
boomers.
Yeah,
Are they kid appropriate? Should I get one for my nephew? I don't know.
take the things. You're good.
great children's toy.
Those
I heard
are
the
mine.
purple one's more expensive.
Dude,
Yeah, they come with
honestly,
a
they
bag
low key
for
look like
chicks.
inappropriate like sex dolls or something.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
Yeah. They were
It's
kind of
weird.
remind me of
They're
those
in weird
little, like-
spots.
They
They're in
didn't
weird
have to
spots.
make them look like My Little Ponies, but
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I thought it was
I
a
feel
little-
so conflicted playing with
Pony.
them every day, but
all
whatever.
right, Dana, you got anything for us?
Well, I cannot beat that. Jeez.
Sorry.
I'm just kidding. No, just kidding. No.
Play it.
Dana
Clue.
did do her homework. She's like just pulling stuff in right now.
No, I'm just kidding. No, actually, okay. Well, this is sentimental because it's a volcanic rock that I picked up in Hawaii. So
Oh,
this
nice.
is, and
Cool.
I absolutely like Hawaii is a spirit place, I'd say. So that's why it means a lot to me because it's an amazing place. I've been there more than any other place in the world, and I love
Have you
it.
played there? Have you DJ'd there?
No. Well, I did
You gotta
on a
get there.
ship there. I
Oh,
DJ'd on
okay.
a
There
cruise.
you
I've
go.
been
That
yeah,
counts.
the last 3 years we've went to Hawaii on the ship. So I've been able to DJ there like on the ship with the
What
so
cruise line have you-
somewhat actually I have DJ'd there years ago. So I used to as a lifeguard on in Oahu on the North Shore with my sister. We did this summer camp for American Cancer Society. Was one night I had a dance for all the kids, like campers, and I did
Nice.
DJ. I reached out to a guy that lived there on the island, and I rented his DJ gear. So I guess I have
That's awesome. There you
DJ
go.
there. Yeah. So,
That's cool.
but what was your other question, Zach, about cruising?
Oh, I was saying, what cruise line have you
Oh
like?
yeah. I've DJ'd on Celebrity, Royal Caribbean, and Crystal cruises.
I was trying to think if I've seen you on like a Royal Caribbean or something. Maybe not.
Is that your go-to, Zach? Now, or
Yeah,
for
we've been.
festivals?
What?
Was that your go-to before festivals? Was cruises?
No, I've only been to like on like 3 or 4 cruises, but I don't know. I always find the club when I do.
Yeah, Royal
Let's go with that guy.
Caribbean has a fun club, that's for sure.
Yeah,
I've been
it's
on 3 of their ships,
I
and
DJ'd
I've
on a Royal
always. Oh, have you? Which
the
one?
Buckeye Cruise for Cancer.
Oh, you did that?
Yeah, I did it one year. Yeah,
Yeah.
It was fun.
Yeah. I forgot when, because I know I've met M Dizzle who does that a lot, right? too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out M Dizzle.
Yeah. M Dizzle.
M
He's so-
Dizzle is probably way too cool to watch this podcast though, for real. I love
He's
that.
so funny. Yeah, but the clubs are lit on. Out of all the cruise lines that I've DJ'd on, Royal Caribbean for sure. I never get to leave there before 2 a.m. 3 a.m.
Yeah.
You know, 3 a.m. is average time to leave that club. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the one? Isn't there one on like a Royal Caribbean that's like it looks like fire? It's called like Inferno or something like that. Have you DJed in that room or no?
Oh, inside the in the club.
Yeah, it's like next. Maybe
I've
not.
been, I don't know which ones. I can't even remember the name of the clubs and all the ships, but the last two I did were on the newer ships, like the huge ships, like 6,000 passengers.
Yeah,
It's
no,
crazy.
what
Yeah.
were we on? Like the Allure of the Seas or something like that.
Oh yeah, yeah, the Allure. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
that's
DJ'd on Allure and Harmony.
Yeah, so you have
and
been in the club that I'm
Liberty.
talking about. That's dope.
Yeah.
I wonder if
Yeah,
you're
the Allure-
DJing on my like
yeah.
voyage. That would be crazy.
That would have been
I'm
crazy.
trying to think
I
back of who was DJing. Like, I feel like it was.
There's
a
always
female.
two of us. Yeah, I know it now. I know which club you're talking about with the,
Like, it's all
the
red
fire.
in
Yeah,
there.
it's like a fire theme. Yeah. Mhm.
That's
The dance
crazy.
floor's in a weird spot away from the
Small
DJ.
world.
Like,
Yes, and the DJ, we like are disconnected from the dance floor.
yeah,
That's one
it's
thing I never
weird.
got.
You walk
I was
in, you're like where the
why are
host
they-
is supposed to be. Can I get a
Yeah.
table? No.
Yeah, that's a weird setup. I literally would like be DJing, and then to connect with the crowd, I'd play like a P mix or something, and like walk down and run to the dance floor and be like, "Hey guys," you know.
Yeah.
And run
I know you
back
can't
up.
see me, but I'm
And
over
do-
there.
Yeah, I'm over there. Like I get binoculars, but I'm over there.
That's fun.
Mike, your turn.
Yeah, so enough with that stuff about not DJing. We're gonna talk about real DJ stuff. What is if someone's been listening up until this point, they should probably come out of something helpful. What is one tip that you have for DJs?
Wait.
that they haven't heard?
We got to
Mike,
do the
what's your
show and tell.
What's your show
Oh,
and tell?
am I
Yeah,
showing
yeah, Mike.
Tell? No, all I have is DJ stuff.
I have
I'm
a
literally
show and
looking
tell.
around.
Yeah.
I mean, I can go get my Xbox
Boo.
controller.
Hold
Oh,
on,
come
I
on.
got a show and tell.
Is
All
the
right,
hat?
go ahead,
Let me
James.
see if I can do this.
Are you
Okay.
sharing your screen?
Oh,
Is this a
boy.
new track? It's a new fire?
There it is.
Hold on, it's coming.
Is this your game-winning
Oh,
kill?
his
I'm gonna show you a
victory.
game-winning kill here.
Oh my gosh.
You're such a nerd.
Look at this, bro. Watch
High
this.
quality content right there.
Here goes. Boo, 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 boo. Oh,
Dude, I can't see
Victory!
anything.
Yeah, we can't see
It's
anything.
over,
I'm just looking at
boys.
you, dude.
It's not
All right,
showing.
I'll just say that I saw it, and it's awesome.
It's
Well,
dope
that's-
though, bro. I'm sure it's dope.
Thanks for
That
sharing.
is so realistic looking.
Oh yeah, this is real stuff, Dana.
You've come a long way.
I think I need to upgrade from Nintendo to.
No, you don't.
Wait, so what do you play this on then? What's the game console?
On
He
PC,
plays
right?
on PC, bro.
Oh,
Oh, he's a real gamer.
Did it show it? I don't know. I don't know.
No, it did not show, but it looked dope. It looked
Mm.
dope.
Yeah, that was a cool menu screen.
We got to see what your character
Uh,
looks like.
Yeah, it
It looks
cool.
like every other character on that game.
It's sucks.
I was showing the
Sucks.
video highlights.
Technically, his character has like a peg leg. He's like
He's got a prosthetic
prosthetic leg. Excuse me.
leg.
Like, those are pirate. Pirate games, yeah.
Prosthetic, dude.
Oh, okay.
Not a pirate.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can call me a pirate. I don't care.
All right. What was your DJ question?
Yeah, I
real
want to
stuff.
talk about back to the DJ stuff. What is one secret to DJing or business that our audience has not heard before? Dana, go.
well, I don't know what our audience has not heard before, so I thought of a good one because I think it has developed me as a DJ is pushing yourself out of your comfort zone as much as possible.
What do you
Whether
mean? by that?
it's so what I knew you were gonna ask that. So
Mhm.
so I thought, I mean, so as like, well, DJ, for instance, I went ahead and dived into 3 months worth of improv comedy classes. And you wouldn't think that it helped, but it did. It definitely helped my emceeing and just being able to like think on the spot. It helped get me kind of break out of my comfort zone, really, and tap into my imagination and creativity from other weight resources. So I think that also can translate into DJing, because then it just opens up creative mind, and you can also become creative with your sets. And then from a personal like business point, with obviously like running the business part was something extremely new to me. And so to learn so much, and I'm still learning all the time. So I think like, even though like I was just talking to Mike earlier, I am not a numbers girl. I never wasn't my strong suit. And so I have pushed myself out of that comfort zone, and I've like learned how to use QuickBooks and do my own bookkeeping with some help, but so just like that's what I mean. So just don't be afraid, don't let fear take over, and just push yourself, and then it eventually builds your confidence as well. So
Step out of your comfort zone. Fear and Low, what's up? What's your tip for DJs they haven't heard before?
I would say just realizing the importance of like when to play certain tracks, building a set, like the energy. If you play bangers the whole time, each one's gonna sound a little less like a banger. So like just starting wherever the room's at, kind of like if you're opening doors and you don't want to be like blowing, bangers all the whole time. So I don't know.
We like to call that flow. Just like it's really important to understand flow, and like how, like Zach said, just like building energy. That's something that you don't really understand until you've been around for a long time. You can hear it in people that are really well known. I'm trying to think of
like I just watched the Martinez brothers stream last night, and dude, they start at like 120 playing like disco, chill, like deep tech, and then by the end of it, they're playing like 130 tech now. But you can't tell. Like it's just
each song is like a different, like it's another step in like this long hit. It's dope.
I like sets like that.
Yeah,
me too.
I find BK is like my like Columbus king of like that style, where like you're gonna get A to Z, but you're gonna take 26 steps to get there.
Right. Yeah.
I like
Technical questions, my favorite questions. So I guess I can give you a little background. One of the reasons why I like Zach and Alex so much is because when I see those guys on a dance floor that I'm DJing for, I know I'm getting some good feedback after this. And Alex, we talk probably even more just about each other's sets and other DJs, and not even a hating way, just in like an appreciation of the art form and everything like that. So how do you guys offer feedback in between you guys as a duo and then other DJs? Because I think you guys do a really good job of it. And how do you break the barrier where you're not afraid to talk to other DJs about their sets?
Well, I'll start here. Between the two of us, honestly, any feedback that we give, most of the time we know. So like I'll say something to Zach and he'll be like, yeah, I know about that. And it's nice to acknowledge that, because it's like, oh yeah, he was thinking that.
Right.
But there are times, usually if there's feedback that we'd have to give on the fly, we'll just do it. So like a lot of times I'll be in the middle of a mix and Zach will turn a knob for me because he hears that it needed to be turned, and we just kind of built off a relationship on the decks where that's cool.
Yeah.
We know that each other can hear what's coming out of the speakers as well as the other guy. So it's nice going back to back with someone that can kind of look out for you like that.
Right. But also like in terms of giving other people feedback, like, or even getting feedback when I'm DJing, like whenever I'm DJing, there's other DJs in the room. For some reason, that's who like I'm trying to impress the most, and that could be the same for like a lot of people. But yeah, I think negative feedback's kind of a weird word, because I would never give negative feedback, more like constructive or like critical feedback. But I think if it's negative, it's probably coming from a place of like jealousy or something else.
And then DAYNA, some people, like I've heard it said, like don't give feedback on something unless someone asks you for feedback. Do you believe in that or no?
No, I would say no, because I mean, I guess it depends on the situation. No, I mean, I know for me personally, if I want feedback, I'm gonna ask for it. And obviously I've been given feedback. I haven't been asked for it, but I appreciate it too, you know? So I think it always makes you, I mean, grow. And when you get, actually what you say, instead of negative feedback, I like to look at it as constructive criticism. You know, I mean, I'm my own worst critic, sure we all are. So
Right.
I give myself a lot of like critique, but it's nice to hear it from other people. Yeah, for sure, to be honest. Whether you ask
I
for
know,
it or
like,
not.
when I'm playing, like we played on the patio, Mike, and like we're not even like the same kind of DJ at all. So it's like it's hard for me to give you feedback because what you do, you're like a king at it, and I'm always like, whoa, like you're sampling in songs like that I wouldn't even think about. So like it's hard to give people feedback when they're not really doing like the same style as you, but it's easier when you're in the same realm, kind of.
And then Alex, you and I are in the I feel like I'm in the, I mean, I won't speak for you. What I'll say is I'm in the boat. I can't help myself. I'm giving feedback because I'm the kind of person who I want, like, I don't know if, again, I'm not want to speak for you, but I'm getting tired of, oh my God, you killed it. Like, I get what you're trying to say and I appreciate the love, but I don't know, every time it doesn't tell me anything, right? Well, like, someone will come up to me and say like, oh my gosh, you killed it. Then I'm like, oh, what's your favorite song? What was like your favorite song on the set? And I get some feedback or something. And they'll be like, I don't know. It was just everything. It's like,
well, yeah, that's true. You still appreciate it though. Anytime anyone says something, I mean, I'm gonna appreciate that because I know
100%.
that if they didn't have to say something like that, they could have just stood there and danced.
Oh, 100%. Not saying
Right.
that, but I know you and I get more
get
excited
tired
when
of it,
someone
for
says,
sure.
yeah, when someone says something that's like constructive, like, oh, I didn't like when you did that, or like, why did you do that? So
Yeah.
talk about that. Like, do you offer feedback when it's not asked for? And then how do you go about doing it so that, you know, that you don't get punched in the face?
A lot of times it depends. I mean, most of the time when I'm out at shows, and there's locals that I would be talking to give feedback. It's someone that I'm pretty close with anyway. I'd say anyone in Columbus at this point that DJs, we have a relationship with someone with them that's going to be playing a show that I'm at. I don't know if it comes up in conversation, or if most of the time I'll let someone ask me before I give any kind of feedback. But usually it'll just be something like good set, and a lot of times I'll point out one or two songs that I enjoyed. But I don't like giving a lot of people really like criticism at the show. I feel like that's maybe I'll be like, hey, you could work on your phrasing or something, but I honestly can't remember a time I said something like that. I think most of the time, if I'm given anything constructive or whatever, it would be talking about the flow. What Zach and I were talking about, like building an energy, like you came out too hot, or
things that are important to us.
Yeah, that's the kind of stuff that I would criticize people for.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
And as a follow up, what's the best compliment you receive? So, you know, maybe, you know, you appreciate when someone says you killed it, but that's not like the best compliment. Dana, like what compliment do you get excited for when people, you know, mention something to you?
Yeah, no, I honestly, one of the best compliments is if they say something to the effect of like, that was one of the best nights of my life, or you just made my night, anything like that. Or if they talked about a certain song that moved them a certain way and they tell me a story about it and why, like that's, oh my gosh, like that makes my heart, you know, pound. So I love that. And I was going to say really quick too, just going back to what we were talking about, I was going to say with the, you know, the feedback, like whether it's constructive criticism or negative, like it also depends, I think too, like who it's coming from, like, or there's also a time and place too. I feel like at a show may not be the time and place to give constructive criticism, but I think if you really felt led to, you could reach out to that person, especially if it was a friend of yours, like, you know, Mike too. I know we've shared, you know, constructive criticism, and I will definitely, if you're at a show, like if you're at a show of mine, I would want to hear your feedback because you're always honest, you know. So if I'm looking for that, then I'm going to ask, you know. So I think too, and the way you give feedback too, you have, you know, coming from a place, like a non-judgmental place, and showing compassion about it too, people will appreciate it a lot more, instead of being like, yo dude, you know what, that sucked, you know. Like that's not gonna be taken well received, you know, as well. But
yeah, I mean,
anyway,
we just want you to be better. That's the only reason I would say something like that.
Yeah, you tell them, hey, like, this is what I like, you know how they say, like, you know, start off with positives,
a compliment sandwich or whatever.
Yeah, negative, but for sure, best compliments would be that I just like made their night with a big smile and hug, or a high five or fist bump in our case right now. But I miss
Hey,
hugs.
not now.
All those.
You better get those high fives away from me.
Air five.
That's why I said fist bump.
No, not even that.
How long till we go back to shaking hands?
May 7th.
Never. Maybe never. We'll just no more touching anyone. I'm
kind of okay with that, if I'm being honest. I'm like, that's not a big shift for me. Like not touching people.
I went and got an oil change, and I just naturally, it was my instinct to just go like this, to put my hand out to the guys, like, thanks, man. And he's like,
what are you, crazy?
But
in terms
Alex
of, like,
and Zach, favorite compliment.
Compliments. One that we get sometimes that I really like hearing. People will come up to us and say, I don't really like house music, but I really like what you guys just did. And my response to that is usually, well, you do like house music.
Yeah.
I
can hear you saying it too.
I like when people come up to you and say something to the effect like, you had me in a trance, because that's speaking to what, like, the flow, like
what we're trying to do.
What we're trying to do, yeah. Because if you got somebody in a trance, I've been in a trance a couple times maybe, and it's like you're just locked in, like, and that's the best.
Yep, I agree. Nothing better. Promote you guys. Promote yourselves. Where can people find you? Social media handles, and if you're watching this on YouTube, I'm gonna leave all that information in the description. Go.
We're at Fear and Low Music on just about everything. Instagram.
Ampersand, AND, just
for our logo, it's an ampersand.
Social media
and spelled out. And
gotcha. Making sure.
We're doing streams on our Facebook page, like almost weekly.
Pretty much every Saturday we're trying to do.
Like you said, we got that one
find your
tonight.
Music, Spotify, Apple Music,
all platforms.
Spotify, Apple
LimeWire,
Music, SoundCloud.
I don't know about
maybe
LimeWire. Dude.
Let's see. We got a new song coming out May 7th on Zach's birthday.
Nice.
It's called The Message. It's on a record label called Rich Got Jacked. They're doing like a free download series, so you guys can grab that for free in early May. Keep an eye out for it.
And it's going to be on your MailChimp, right? That you're setting up.
That's right.
Grab your MailChimp.
That you're setting up for us. Yeah.
No, hey man, I'll set it up for a fee now. I'm unemployed.
I'm unemployed too, bro. What do you mean? We got a mix coming out with our buddy Intel, another DJ from Columbus.
On his podcast or an actual mix?
It's on his radio show, which is a mix series. I think it's Intel Radio. But that's early May. And then we got merch. I don't know if you guys all know about it. We got hats.
Nice.
We got a couple different kind of hats, and we got shirts. So we're getting a website set up that should be here in the next month or so. So you'll be able to buy all that from there. Yep. That's all I got.
Cool. Dana, where can we find you?
All right. So Instagram is _DJ Dana with a Y. So DJ DAYNA. And then Facebook page is also DJ Dana. And my Spotify is DJ Dana. And Mixcloud's DJ Dana. So those are all the platforms. I have a YouTube, but don't go there because I haven't
old
no
videos.
fresh content there at all, but I will be. Yeah, soon.
Got extra time for the YouTube content.
Mhm.
And then we have a section called 614 Releases. 614 is a clothing company here in Columbus who decided to help us. I don't know if sponsors are, but let us use their name for these releases. And I know Entel had his release of Dream State on Monday, so we're excited for him about that. Very enjoyable tune. Production's great on it. And that's all I had for releases. James, you know of anyone releasing in your world? I put out some feelers on Instagram and Twitter and didn't hear anything back.
Not actually official releases. I mean, I've gotten a lot of unfinished, unsigned music from DJs. I love it. I love all the people are sending me tons of stuff that is gonna hit. And then, yeah, I mean, we'll see next week.
You have an EP coming out soon, right?
Oh yeah. I just signed my EP yesterday, so that's gonna be on Turn It Up Music, which is the label that signed my last track, Rumors, I believe. Is yeah. I'm excited, man, and this is my first EP, so first time I've ever done a non-single release, and
That's cool.
Cool.
it's I switched it up a little bit on my sound, and I'm excited about it.
The house, bass house.
Yeah, bass house, all bass house.
Oh,
I'm gonna send it to you after this, actually. So
Yeah, I just made a night bass song like last
Did you
night
really?
for the first
Nice.
time, or tried to at least.
That's awesome. Yeah, so I'll have more information probably next week on that, but
Yeah,
I'll send it.
Our roommate Max is whipping up some fire stuff.
He has a
too.
collaboration with Entel coming out soon on Nueva Recordings. So that's very good.
That wasn't the new one. That wasn't the one you just dropped.
No, it's another one. It's actually in the Entel radio that came out last week. But
With Bakovin.
with Bakovin, yeah. But that's not out for a couple months, I don't
I
think.
can see them doing multiple collabs in the future.
Oh, they will.
Oh, yeah.
Christian's killing it too. He's always releasing
Christian
stuff.
Bastani, yeah, he just had a remix come out on Monday, I think. I forget where it's on. But he's putting stuff out like every couple weeks. So
Wow.
yeah,
He
check
needs
him out.
MailChimp too.
Yeah, he does.
I'm gonna do a MailChimp commercial.
And you should
Yeah,
just
bring
work
him-
for
bring
them,
him on
man.
I
the-
really should, man. Because
Bring him on the podcast and set it up.
yeah, if I can sign off with one thing, DJs have a MailChimp. It's not enough to do social media because of the algorithms, especially for those of you starting off who don't have massive followings. Find a core group of people who you can send an email. Most people, functioning people, I think, check their email once every 3 days. It'll pop in there. If they click on it, great. If they don't, great too. At least they can't tell you like, oh, I didn't hear about it, or I didn't know it dropped. Corrupt, you do a great job of this. I'm gonna pat myself on the back and say I do a great job of this. You don't have to overwhelm people. I think one a month is pretty good. This is what I did this month. And then major projects like
It's
Corrupt
free,
EP,
right?
like
MailChimp.
it's
free.
100%. I haven't spent a dime on MailChimp, so
It's free as under I think like 2,000 contacts.
Okay.
And what you can do is you can look at who's not opening your emails or which emails are inactive, and then you can delete those to make more room for
Okay.
actives. So you really shouldn't be paying for a while if you're just starting it. So
Cool.
works out.
cool. Guys, if you are watching this on YouTube, thank you so much for sticking around till the end. Hope you enjoyed the content. This is DJ Dana, and this is Alex and Zach, Fear and Low, and my co-host DJ Corrupt. If you're enjoying what you heard, if you got a good tidbit, like the video, subscribe to the channel. We're gonna have a ton of more podcasts and also do tutorials, routines, everything like that. Next week we'll have 2 more guests and tons of questions. And James, do you have any shout outs for the end of the podcast to wrap us up?
Shout out to my Warzone winner team last night, Rusty, Joey, me, and Jay. And then also Passionate DJ. Those are my homies in Dayton. They do an excellent job on their podcast. They had me about a year ago, so shout out to them too.
Yeah, David and Tony are awesome people.
Yeah.
Same thing with Mo.
Sure.
guys sign off. Anything you want to say? You want to sing your favorite like end of TV theme song?
Thank you guys for coming on, man. It means a
No,
lot.
thank
Thanks for
you.
having us.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank
All
you
right,
so much
I'm
for
not-
thinking of me.
What
Enjoy
could
the
I
rest of
sing?
Saturday
We're
night.
not singers.
No, dude, I'll sing if I can think of a song.
Why don't you
Can
start
you
singing?
Boys
I'll
to
cut it
Men?
off when I don't like it.
Yeah, go out.
If I don't like it.
Dude, you're gonna be right. It's gonna be right away.
All right, people. Take care.
All right.
Peace. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.